right from the birth. This is a beautiful gift that has been bestowed by the process of communication. We used to exchange our ideas, emotions, we used to express ourselves. So it is very important there in the teaching learning process. Through communication, we can come across with a number of things like their problems, like their innovative ideas, and we can put the material, the thinking, the novel ideas across the minds of creative potentials. So, to begin with, the concept of communication, which was derived from the Latin word communis, which stands for common, share, to share, and togetherness. The various definitions have been propounded from time to time. From Maria's viewpoint, it is a process of mutual exchange of thoughts, feelings, ideas, facts, and emotions. From Brooker's point of view, it is anything that conveys meaning which carries a message from one person to another. So, few of the communication characteristics which are very common are like it is a continuous process. Right from the morning till evening, we used to communicate with each other. So, it is also the process of give and take. It is an interactive process. It is both intentional as well as unintentional in nature. It is a universal phenomenon. It is a purposeful activity. The process of communication involves various elements, right from the sender who encodes the message or delivers the message through various medias, then it is being decoded at the receiver's end. There in the classroom situation, teacher is a sender who encodes the message, the text, the ideas, the innovations, the teaching material to the students. So students are the receivers who decodes the message delivered by the teacher and give responses accordingly. Here the spellings of response are incorrect. These are response. After getting response, the teacher used to decide what kind of the feedback should be given to the students. So this way the process of communication keep on going and going. So it's a continuous in nature. Again, the spellings of feedbacks are incorrect. This image has been taken from bizcommunicationcoach.com. So here some kind of prohibition, some kind of barriers do exist, as it is very common. They are in the form of a noise, they are in the form of the physical nature, physical illness, or a number of things which inhibit there in the process of communication. So let's study one of these to begin with. Physical barriers. Noise can be there which can impede there in the classroom communication. Improper time. Suppose a subject which has been allocated to the teacher is not there in the morning, but the level of difficulty is high. So, according to the level of difficulty, it should be allotted there in the morning time when there is a freshness there in the minds of the students. Then comes the distance. If the teacher is standing at the distant level, the students would not be there in the condition to receive the message. Then climatic conditions. If the climatic conditions are not favorable, electricity is not there in the classroom, it can also impose a barrier. Then physical discomfortable. If a student is not physically fit, it can also pose a great barrier in the process of communication. Then next comes psychological barriers, emotions, poor listening, egoistic attitude of the students, just hearing nature of the students instead of patient listening, then attitude of the juniors towards seniors. All these are the psychological barriers which hinders the process of communication. They are in the classroom situation. Then comes organizational barriers, rules and regulations which are imposed by various institutions or organizations do hinder the process of communication. If these are too lenient in nature, then they would not pose any hindrance. If they are too strict, they would pose hindrance there in the process of communication. Then comes hierarchical relationships, choice of media, and group size. Suppose the size of the class is above 20, so it can also impose communication barrier. Then comes language barriers, excessive verbalism there in the classroom situation also poses a barrier in the process of communication. Then poor vocabulary on the part of both teacher as well as students. Then uncommon graphics and symbols being used by the teacher also impose a communication barrier. Then the different language which is out of the perception span of the students also poses a great linguistic barrier. Then few of the remedial measures which a teacher can use to minimize the barriers in the process of communication, and with these remedial measures teacher can make his or her communication process strong, and the things can be received at the receiver and exactly the way the teacher wants to convey. First of all, a teacher should be very clear about the message he or she wants to deliver. Then secondly, teacher should use simple, brief and a clear language. Then the effective planning on the part of the teacher is must. Teacher should try to bring quality in his or her presentation. There should be a clarity in speech as well as explanations. Teacher should also try to develop good rapport with the audience there would be the students there in the classroom. Feedback is the most important step there in the classroom communication. Teacher should give adequate feedback to his or her audience, that means to the students. Teacher should also try to make proper seating arrangements for all of the students. He or she should also try to minimize noise and other discomforts. Teachers should be sympathetical, should show kind behavior and affection to the students, should not indulge himself or herself in the snubbing. Then teachers should catch up with the individual background of the students too. With all these remedial measures, a teacher can make his or her teaching learning process a great success. Thank you.